Thank you very much. Dear residents, dear friends, I'm very happy to be addressing all of you here today on this field next to our block 310. Now, an especially big hello to those residents who are from Clementi Avenue 4 and Clementi Avenue 6. Many of you I have met over the past few days of campaigning and also in the days before that. Many of you I have met in your homes, and when sometimes I didn't manage to catch you at home, I've also seen you at the void decks, in the coffee shop, in the playground, and also on the roads in this neighborhood. So I'm very happy to be here to share some thoughts on this evening. Now, I think this has been a very exciting election for me, not just because I'm a rookie, but I think also because it has been full of debate, and there has been a lot of very important and interesting topics being debated. And many of you, residents, have told me that you have been following the discussions in the newspaper, on the TV, on the internet, with great interest. And I think that is a great thing. I think with competition, we will all improve. But I do feel that there is one particular topic that has been neglected in this debate, and that is a disappointment to me. What topic is this? It is the topic of the community. Why do I say that? I consider myself a candidate from the community. I grew up in Holland-Bukit, Timah. I've served in Holland-Bukit, Timah. Madam Yufu Yishun, I've had the honor of serving her for the last 5 years in the grassroots organizations. And before that, Dr. Wang Kai-yuan, whom I'm sure many of you here remember. Do you remember Dr. Wang? Now, why is the community important? I feel that there is no substitute for knowing the residents whom you serve. Only by hearing them out face to face, discussing issues with them heart to heart, will we be able to understand what is on our community's minds, what is in our residents' minds. And this is not just a way for us to discover issues and problems, but it's also a very good way for us to come up with solutions. I think you can tell a lot about a team of candidates from the way they campaign. I think the way that my team has been campaigning is that we have been spending a lot of time trying to reach out to all of you personally as far as we can. But we have also been speaking with the media. We've also been interacting with you online, on Facebook, on the internet. It is a mix of different channels, but we place the greatest importance on understanding and meeting you face to face. I think that I've really had the pleasure not only of being invited into your homes, knowing more about your children. I think I've also had the pleasure of working together with you in this short space of just a few days. We've already managed to solve a couple of problems along the way. And I think this is really how an effective community works. Just this afternoon, a couple of hours before coming to this rally, I was at Block 201 at Clementi Avenue 6. And there I had a very interesting conversation with one of our lady residents. She asked me, Sim Ann, you know, there's been a lot of interesting debate. I said, yes. And she asked me, do you think it's a good thing? I said, yes, of course, because competition makes us all better. And then she said, you know, I've been thinking, if the opposition happens to win a ward, do they get to control the town council? Everyone, let me ask you this question. If an opposition party wins a ward, do they get to control the town council? Yes or no? Yes. The answer is yes. So I told the lady the answer is yes. So she thought about it for a little while, and then she asked me, if the opposition wins a ward, can they just be the MPs, and can we get somebody else like the PAP to run the town council? Everyone, what is the answer to that? Yes or no? No! The answer is no. So I think, dear residents, you know, when we are deciding on which team to choose, which team to represent us, yes, it is very important to think about what are the issues they stand for, what are the policies that they will formulate, what are the positions that they will support. All this is very important. But I think it's also very important to think, who will you entrust your estate to? Who are the people who can help you solve problems the community way? Because this is actually where a lot of our issues lie. Let me give you two examples. In Bukit Timah, which I've had the pleasure to serve in under Mrs. Wifu's leadership, let me give you two examples of how we, together with residents, come up with solutions, creative solutions to everyday issues, the community way. A few years ago, void deck libraries were being phased out. I think many of you remember this. We are building bigger and better regional libraries, stocked with many, many books, new books, but at the same time, the much smaller void deck libraries were being phased out. One such library in Toi was being phased out. Now, residents understand that things like libraries, very important public amenities like libraries, have to be properly planned. So they understand, yes, you know, we need to have bigger and better regional libraries. But if you ask any resident, can they close the void deck library that's just underneath their block? I think the residents will tell you no. But still, this was part of the plan. And I think we can choose to do two things. We can choose to tell residents, I'm sorry, the community, we cannot do anything about that. Just have to say bye-bye to the library. Or you can say, let's come up with a solution, which is what we did. So first of all, we decided, let's not lose a library for the children in the neighborhood. We found some space in the community club, which is very near the void deck library that was being phased out. We raised the money to convert one area of our CC into a children's library. In the process of doing that, we lost the foyer to our CC, but I think everybody agreed that it was a worthwhile trade-off. We raised the money, and we managed to attract a lot of donations for books, and now our library has more than 10,000 volumes, and we have a few hundred members, and we have a lot of happy families and happy children who are using this free library. And the best part about this is that the National Library Board supports this effort by donating many good books to us and including our library in various programs and initiatives that they have. So I think this is a very good community solution to a local issue. Another very good example that I want to bring up, and which with very much credit to Mrs. Wifu, is the implementation of a children's village. Many of you know we have a beautiful childcare center at Block 305, which is co-located with a community garden, which is very abundant, very luxurious, lots and lots of greenery. And the challenge that we set ourselves is, how can we keep our Heartlands Childcare Center at a very high standard, full of some of the other enrichment type of programs that our residents also observe in some of the privately run childcare centers outside? How do we deliver this to them without adding on to fees and costs, which is what parents care about a lot? Well, in our house visits, we also noticed that in the community, we have a lot of talent. We have retired educators. We have retired pediatricians. We have a child psychologist. And these are all people with a common interest in making our children's preschool education better and more enriching. So with Mrs. Wifu's drive, we formed a committee to do a children's village. The idea being that we will bring all these experts who are already neighbors and living in the community, as well as the local residents committee, and also people who are contributing, for instance, to the community garden, to come together, come into the childcare center, regularly interact with the children and enrich their curriculum so that the children will learn even more things than they normally would. And all this is not at extra cost to our residents and to our parents. So I think there are a lot of creative things that we can do in the community, but we need a platform in order to do these things. So my dear residents, I want to say that it is a very great privilege for me to have served under Mrs. Wifu. And even though I think our hearts are filled with sadness that she's retiring, I want to say to you that I'm committed to carrying on a lot of the good work that she has done and to build upon the foundation that she has set. What are some of the things that we want to do in the years ahead? I hope and I want to expand our children's village concept. I want to expand this and bring this to more childcare locations in our ward. Bukit Timah is also a ward with a lot of people with a deep interest in culture and the arts. And tapping on this very strong pool of interest and talent, we have organized a 1-month-long culture festival, which was very well received. And going forward, we want to do more culture festivals at our community club. We want to branch off into other forms of art and culture because this is what our residents want. Just now I mentioned the Children's Village as a very good way of engaging the talent and interests of many of our retired residents. We want to engage retirees more actively, especially those who want to stay economically and socially active. We want to expand our jogging and walking tracks and sporting facilities in this ward. And I think over and above all this, most important of all, we want to do more community dialogues so that more good ideas can come forth from our residents and where we can continue to build this platform where we contribute our suggestions and we contribute our expertise and we make this community a better place. So my dear friends and residents, my message to you is vote for the team that knows you. Vote for the team that hears you. Vote for the team that cares about you. And vote for the team that has always and will continue to take action on your behalf. Thank you very much.